Did you know that there are over 1.5 million cicadas expected to swarm the United States in 2024? That's more than 4 times the entire human population of New York City. Let's take a moment to unpack that. To give you a sense of scale, imagine every person in Los Angeles, Chicago, and Houston combined. Now multiply that by 4. And you've got an idea of the number of cicadas we're talking about. It's an astonishing figure, isn't it? These are not just any insects. These are periodical cicadas, one of nature's most fascinating phenomena. They live a fascinating 17-year life cycle, most of which is spent underground. For 17 years, these insects remain in the earth, feeding off tree roots and biding their time. Then, as if responding to an alarm clock set by Mother Nature herself, they emerge in unison, transforming quiet neighborhoods into buzzing concert halls. Their song, A Serenade of Summer, is produced by the males to attract females, a chorus that can reach up to 100 decibels. That's as loud as a motorcycle revving its engine. But what's the purpose of this mass emergence, you might ask? Well, it's a survival strategy known as predator satiation. By emerging in such vast numbers, cicadas ensure that despite a feast for predators, enough of them will survive to reproduce. But don't worry, despite their intimidating numbers and ear-splitting song, cicadas are harmless to humans. They don't sting or bite, and they're not known to carry diseases. However, they do have a taste for tree sap, and their feeding habits can cause damage to young trees and plants. As we prepare for the summer of the cicadas, it's essential to understand the scale and nature of this natural spectacle. It's a testament to the incredible, often bewildering rhythms of the natural world. Now, let's dive deeper into the impact these insects have on our environment. While cicadas might remind you of the biblical plagues, they are different from their notorious cousins, the locusts. Let's first bust a common myth. Cicadas are not locusts, and they don't act like them either. Locusts are a type of grasshopper, known for their destructive behavior. They move in enormous swarms, devouring every green thing in their path, a true plague on crops. Cicadas, on the other hand, are harmless to humans and most plants. The only damage they cause is minor and usually limited to young trees when females lay their eggs in thin branches. That's not to say cicadas don't have their own unique brand of drama. Have you ever heard a sound like a high-pitched, undulating whine on a hot summer day? That's male cicadas serenading the females with a song that can reach up to 100 decibels. Now, let's talk about the biblical connection. The book of Exodus tells a story of 10 plagues that God inflicted upon Egypt for refusing to release the Israelites from slavery. One of these plagues was a swarm of locusts that devoured everything in sight. The arrival of cicadas, especially in such large numbers, could seem like a plague. But unlike the locusts of biblical times, cicadas are not a divine punishment. They are a natural and fascinating part of our world. Their 17-year life cycle is one of the longest of any insect and ends with a few weeks of noisy, frenzied activity. The symbolism of cicadas varies across cultures. In some, they're seen as harbingers of doom, while in others, they're symbols of rebirth and immortality, likely due to their long life cycles and dramatic reemergence. One thing is for sure, cicadas are a wonder of nature, a spectacle that we get to witness only once every 17 years. Their arrival might be loud and their numbers might be intimidating, but they are a far cry from a biblical plague. But unlike locusts, cicadas are not a threat to crops or human beings. While cicadas are harmless to humans and crops, they can cause significant damage to young trees and shrubs. You might be wondering, how does this happen? Well, female cicadas make slits in tree branches where they lay their eggs. This process, known as oviposition, can cause branches to split, wither, and die, a phenomenon known as flagging. Now let's imagine the sheer scale of this. Billions of cicadas emerging all at once, each female laying up to 600 eggs. The collective impact on our green spaces can be significant. But take heart, the damage is generally not fatal to mature trees, but it can be a real setback for young, vulnerable trees and shrubs. So, what can people do to protect their gardens during the cicada season? A simple and effective strategy is to use netting with a mesh size of 1/4 inch or smaller to cover young trees and shrubs. This prevents cicadas from reaching the branches and laying eggs. Remember to secure the netting at the trunk to ensure cicadas can't crawl up inside. Now, let's address a burning question. Do cicadas carry diseases? The answer is no. Cicadas do not transmit diseases to humans, nor do they have harmful bacteria or viruses. In fact, they're so harmless that in some cultures, they're even considered a crunchy delicacy. Though that's a taste test we'll leave for the adventurous among us. On a larger scale, it's worth noting that cicadas play a crucial role in our ecosystem. They prune mature trees, aerate the soil, and after their short adult life, their bodies provide a significant source of nitrogen for growing trees. So while cicadas might be a nuisance, they are not a threat to our health. Their emergence is a natural, cyclical event that, while disruptive, is a fascinating display of nature's rhythms. So when the cicadas come calling, remember, this too shall pass. So, with 1.5 million cicadas on their way, what can we do to prepare? Well, the first thing to remember is the cicada's lifespan above ground is relatively brief. After 17 years underground, they will congregate in trees and shrubs, buzzing their mating songs for 4 to 6 weeks before they die off. While it may seem like an eternity, especially with the constant hum in the background, it's a fleeting moment in their life cycle. During this time, it's entirely possible, even advisable, to continue your outdoor activities. The cicadas are harmless to humans. They don't sting or bite, nor do they carry diseases. Their main focus during this short period is mating, not interacting with humans. However, their sheer numbers can be overwhelming, so it might be wise to schedule your garden parties or picnics for a time when the cicada chorus is less deafening. To protect your young trees and shrubs from potential damage, consider using netting with a mesh size of 1/4 inch or less. This can prevent female cicadas from laying eggs in the tender branches. Remember, established trees generally withstand the onslaught without any long-term damage. If you have pets, keep an eye on them. While cicadas are not toxic, consuming too many can upset your pet's stomach. And for those of you with a sense of culinary adventure, yes, cicadas are edible and have been part of traditional diets in many cultures. They're high in protein, low in fat, and can be prepared in a variety of ways, but always ensure they're properly cooked to kill any potential parasites. Finally, if you're feeling overrun, remember that cicadas play a vital role in our ecosystem. They aerate the soil during their subterranean youth, and their mass emergence provides a feast for many wildlife species. Their bodies also provide a significant nutrient boost to the soil when they die. Remember, the cicada swarm is a natural event that, while inconvenient, is a fascinating display of nature's rhythm.